When we talk about sustainability, the conversations always revolve around technology and policies. But we rarely think of the most basic human trait that makes any technology and policy actually work. We rarely think of kindness, or as we call it in Hindi, Achhai, as a force that could actually help save the planet. Kindness is usually seen as soft, personal, or even trivial in the face of global crises. But psychology, neuroscience, and sustainability research suggest that kindness could be one of the most underestimated and underrated forces we have for building a sustainable planet. In this video, I'll first discuss the science of kindness with you. Then I'll explain why kindness is not just a behavioral trait, but an emotional energy capable of driving both practical and powerful impact. Then I'll discuss why it matters for sustainability. And finally, I'll present the Achhai Framework to you, a model that I specially designed to show you how small acts of kindness can scale into real-world impact. Let's begin. In psychology, kindness is not just a moral behavior, it's measurable. Acts of kindness are linked to oxytocin, sometimes also called the bonding hormone. Oxytocin can be detected in blood, saliva, or urine, and research suggests it often increases during compassionate interactions. For example, when people show care or kindness towards others. In some contexts, oxytocin increases interpersonal trust. Trust is not just a nice feeling. In social science, trust is the foundation of cooperation. Without it, communities and collective actions can easily collapse. Neuroscience even shows that kindness activates the brain's reward system, the same circuitry that is linked to pleasure and motivation. That is why some people naturally seek out kindness, repeat it, and sometimes even pass it on to others. Now here's an emotional truth. When someone is kind to us, we don't just notice it, we carry it. That feeling of safety and recognition doesn't fade easily, and it often makes us want to extend that kindness to someone else. This is where kindness and sustainability meet. If climate change is often framed as doom, guilt, and sacrifice, people shut down. But if it's framed as kindness, kindness to the earth, kindness to our children by protecting the resources they'll depend on, kindness to strangers who will inherit this planet, then people feel inspired, then drained. Sustainability at its core is a collective action problem. It requires people to make such choices today that benefit others tomorrow. And the bridge between me now and us later is kindness. Take recycling. Studies have shown that when recycling was framed as doing your part for the community, participation increased more than when it was framed as cost savings or efficiency. During disasters like hurricanes or floods, researchers found that communities with higher level of everyday kindness and mutual aid recovered faster, because people trusted each other enough to share resources rather than compete for them. Kindness, or Achhai, is not about grand gestures or charity. It's about small, consistent acts that build the backbone of a society and scale into collective strength. To explain this better, let me now introduce to you the Achhai Framework. It breaks down the power of kindness into 5 simple forces. First, encouraging instead of criticizing. A supportive word doesn't just lift one person, it lifts the entire community. Because when you show kindness to one person, it inspires that person with the same kindness, and it strengthens trust and cooperation, thereby creating a chain of goodwill that brings everyone together. Second, listening. Now I know that you've heard it a lot of times, but hear me out. When we truly listen, we're not just hearing words. We are showing someone they matter. It validates their experience and builds trust. Even a few moments of attention can inspire others to act with kindness. And what this does is that it strengthens social trust and fosters an empathy driven culture. And more importantly, it creates the kind of collaboration that often words alone cannot achieve. Third, acknowledging. When communities notice and value each other's contributions, it's never a small act. It validates people, strengthens trust, and creates a culture of collaboration. That shared recognition keeps the empathy alive and binds the entire community together. Fourth, empathy. Now, true empathy is a key part of social bonds. But empathy is not always easy. Not everyone responds or reciprocates to your kindness in the same way. That's why it's important to combine empathy with awareness. Knowing when to engage, when to set boundaries, and when to step back is actually good to keep that empathy within you intact. True empathy does not mean being a doormat for everyone. It means understanding others while protecting your own well being. Fifth, sharing knowledge instead of hoarding it. Now, knowledge is one of the most powerful resources we have, yet it loses its impact when we try keeping it just to ourselves. When we share what we know, whether a skill, an insight, or advice, we build human capital and a learning culture that uplifts the entire community. Individually, they seem small, but together, they create momentum. They normalize cooperation, amplify trust, and build strong bonds that become the foundation of a sustainable community. Achhai shows us that lasting change is not in one heroic act. It's in everyday choices that create a ripple effect for entire humanity, quietly reshaping culture, relationships, and the future of society itself. From a scientific case study lens, Achhai creates a feedback loop. Kindness builds trust. Trust leads to cooperation. Cooperation drives sustainable behavior, which in turn encourages more kindness, creating a positive loop that strengthens communities. This is not philosophy, it's social science. Societies where kindness and empathy are culturally reinforced have stronger democratic participation, higher resilience during crisis, and better long term environmental outcomes. So, the question is not whether kindness belongs in sustainability. The question is whether sustainability can exist without it. Policies may shift, technologies may lag, but Achhai, the everyday choice to be kind, is always within reach. Because if sustainability is about survival, then kindness is about making survival worth it. Now, I know that in the last episode we talked about low carbon AI systems. But before we cover that topic, our next episode is taking an interesting detour into the observer effect, as requested by one of our viewers. So stay tuned, and until next time, keep building a better you.